Monster Truck Attitude fans to a brand new season right here tonight on the MTA YouTube channel. The capacity crowd is electric here tonight as we have got 16 of the baddest monster trucks ready to open up the SmashDown season for the month of July. Thank you guys for riding with us here tonight. We're going to see a lot of great new rookies mix it up with some of the best veterans in the business. The man to beat tonight is Austin Spence from the Crush This Race team inside of the Boss Gator. He's trying to hang on to that championship flag. Here's how round one action is going to be breaking down. Quad Chaos is going to be taking on Raminator, Metal Militia to take on Brutus. Then Jester goes one-on-one with BKT. Thrasher making its return to take on the Junkyard Dog. Then Gravedigger the Legend taking on Raging Steel. Snakebite takes on Virginia Giant. Then the Clydesdale returns to take on an all-new Nightmare Machine, and then a brand-new Maniac debuts here tonight to take on the champion in Boss Gator. But coming to the line right now is Dana Gosh from the Crush This Race team, now piloting the Raminator Dodge all the way out of Champaign, Illinois. He's now set to take on Josh Brown inside of Quad Chaos over here on the inside lane. These drivers are set and ready to go. We got a wicked fast track laid out here tonight. The track crew did a phenomenal job. You guys ain't going to want to miss a beat. Raminator, Quad Chaos, we kick off the new season. The green light drops down. Side by side, they go through no man's land in Raminator. The Dodge Camp. Crush This Race team will pick up a win here tonight inside of round one over Josh Brown and Quad Chaos as he's on the trailer. Next up here tonight, it's the return of a longtime veteran. 𝐵𝐿𝐼 now pilots the Metal Militia machine behind the wheel, ready to go to take on Greg Durbin. Y'all say it with me. Let's get loud. Brutus! Caught my breath there for a second, but nonetheless, Greg Durbin is back to take on Metal Militia here tonight inside of round one. Both drivers are staged. Here's the green light down the straightaway. They go. Brutus with a big time hole shot through no man's land. Metal Militia closed the gap on him. How about a comeback from 𝐵𝐿𝐼 on the outside lane? It was all Greg Durbin from what we could tell, but 𝐵𝐿𝐼 inside of Metal Militia came back on and put the horsepower down. Here's a look at your MTA photo finish. It was by about half a truck. Metal Militia put that horsepower down through no man's land. He picks up a round one win. But next up here tonight, it's the return of the bad boy, Johnny Retlaw and Jester, the former three-time Thursday Night Thunder champion, now ready to take on yet another three-time Thunder champion. This is the BKT machine. Chris Baluk behind the wheel. The crew stuffed a brand new mainframe up underneath that truck, looking to do better this season out on SmashDown. The bad boy and Jester ready to go on the inside. Here's the green light down the straightaway. Jester with a slight lead, but here comes BKT. Jester's out of shape, and Chris Baluk, the veteran, will put the hammer down and get the win over Johnny Retlaw and Jester. What a ride it was. He was all out of shape, and BKT will come away with a victory. Next up here tonight, it's the return of Luke Brown, this time behind the wheel of an all-new Thrasher machine, ready to take on Ryan Davis, who's out here tonight, representing the Backyard Beast, the Junkyard Dog, ready to go over here on the inside lane. The beautiful 1941 Willys ready now on the inside. Both driver stages ready to go. It's going to be Luke Brown and Ryan Davis as we get set to go green. Off the line they go. They're side by side. A good race so far through no man's land, and Thrasher's out of shape inside of no man's land, and Junkyard Dog will come away with a round one victory here tonight over the Thrasher machine. A good straight run by the JYD. He advances on in a round two here tonight. But next up at the line, it's your boy Shaggy. Matt Cheever, Gravedigger the Legend, back on SmashDown, ready to rock this house for all the great MTA fans. He's now set to take on Matt Dempsey, making his MTA debut in Raging Steel, the Chevrolet, on the outside lane. Gravedigger the Legend looking to do good out here. He made it to the finals one time last season. Can he do it again? Both trucks are staged. Here's the green light down the straightaway. They go. Regin's got a lead on him through no man's land. Cheever's out of shape. Over he goes. What a ride for Matt Cheever. Gravedigger the Legend. If he's always throwing the fans, that's one way to do it. As Raging Steel shuts it down on top of the ramp inside of the shutdown area. Watch how out of shape Matt Cheever is, and Gravedigger the Legend on the inside lane. He's side by side right here. Hits the first jump. He's out of shape, much like Jester was. He's still in the throttle, tries to gather it up. Look at your finish line camera. Raging Steel will just edge him out as Cheever rolls the truck over down inside the shutdown area. What an incredible matchup. It was too close to call from up here in the booth, and Raging Steel pulls it out in the end. But you got to give credit to your boy Shaggy as he rolled the truck over. He was still in that throttle trying to win the night's race. And there you see the damage done to 𝐸𝐵 the Legend. We'll have an update down in the pits on that team and that truck later on here tonight. That is not how you want to start a new season. But if anybody can get that truck back together, it's Shaggy and the boys down inside of the pit area. What an incredible matchup. But ladies and gentlemen, we're moving right along with round one as it's the return of Colt Cobra all the way out of Cobra Creek, Colorado. The Legend himself, former 5-time Thursday Night Thunder champion in the supercharged BDS-powered Brass Eagle Snakebite on the inside lane. He is now set to take on Brian Blank out of Winchester, Virginia in the Virginia Giant, the Ford Camp on the outside lane. He's trying to get a big-time win out here, ladies and gentlemen. He did good last season on Thunder. Here's the green light. It's the Ford Oval Brigade down the straightaway. The Giant got a lead. Snakebite coming back on him, and Giant goes over, and Gene Patterson will park it on top of the ramp inside of the shutdown area. They were side by side all the way down, and Brian Blank lost it out of no man's land, and over he goes, and Snakebite will advance. But next up in round one, it's the debut of new kid on the block, Bennett Cartwright and the Clydesdale Chevrolet, ready now to take on Shane Action Jackson, the longtime MTA veteran, debuting a brand new Nightmare machine over here on the inside lane. The Dodge over here, ready to rock the house. That brand new Nightmare is one sweet looking truck out here on the circuit. It's going to be Mopar taking on Chevrolet inside of round one. Who's going to the finish line first? Here's the green light. Looks like Clydesdale got a hold shot. Here comes the Dodge now on the inside lane, and Bennett Cartwright pulls out a win over the brand new Nightmare machine, and the kid debuts with success as he puts one of the veterans on the trailer. Nightmare going home, and now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time to defend the championship flag. New kid on the block, Matthew Hood, making his MTA debut here tonight in a brand new truck, the Maniac, ready to take on longtime MTA veteran. He's been with us since 2021. Austin Spence returns in a Boss Gator. He's driving for the Crush This Race team, your reigning and defending SmashDown champion. Boss Gator ready to go on the inside lane. Stage, green light drops down now off the line. The Gator's got the whole shot up and over no man's land, and it's all Austin Spence inside of the Boss Gator, showing the new kid how it's done out here on the MTA circuit. Boss Gator on a straight and narrow path. He will take the championship flag on into round two competition here tonight as he puts Maniac on the trailer. And ladies and gentlemen, we still have a lot more great racing still to come. Thank you guys so much for riding with us. Round two action is coming up next, but first we're heading down to the pit area to check on Matt Cheever and the boys on 𝐸𝐵 the Legend. And right now, as we head down to the pit area, you see the 𝐸𝐵 the Legend graveyard, so to speak. Matt Cheever, he has torn up a lot of parts out here on the MTA circuit in the time he's been on the arena floor. And right now, the crew is down there thrashing, trying to get 𝐸𝐵 the Legend back and ready for next week's competition. As you can tell, they've got a fresh body put off to the side over there. They're going to be bolting that thing up for next week. And as you see, the graveyard continues for the Legend. But right now, ladies and gentlemen, we are back with side-by-side racing. Round two action coming at your front door. Raminator set to take on Metal Militia. BKT going to go one-on-one with the Junkyard Dog. Then the right-hand side of your screen, other side of the bracket, Raging Steel set to take on Snakebite. Then it's the return of none other than Clydesdale taking on Boss Gator. And that's how round two action is going to be breaking down here tonight on SmashDown. And up in the line right now is the Dodge Camp out of Champaign, Illinois. It's Dan Agash in the Raminator, ready now to take on Jake Ehrlich and the returning Metal Militia. We haven't seen that truck out here on the MTA circuit in quite some time. Glad to have it back, and it seems to be working well for him here tonight. Got a big-time round one victory. It's a Ford Dodge shootout here to kick off round two action. Who's going to be taking it to semifinals? Here's the green light. Down the straightaway they go. The Metal Militia got a hold shot. Here comes Raminator on the inside. Over goes Metal Militia. What a matchup it is. And old Dan 𝐃𝐨𝐵𝐿 had his hands full on that one, trying to dodge away from Metal Militia as he started to come over in the Dodge's lane. As we take another look at the replay, you see Metal Militia is pretty much side by side with the Raminator all the way down. They clear out no man's land right here. They settle it down. Here comes Metal Militia coming through the center of the track. Raminator trying to avoid contact as Metal Militia goes upside down here tonight in the shutdown area. And Cheeks definitely had his hands full, like we said, keeping that truck under control. Now we go down here to our MTA track crew and officials as they roll Jake Ehrlich and Metal Militia right side up. Looks like they broke off the left front tire of that truck. The crew's going to be down there in that pit area thrashing. Hopefully he'll be back better than ever next week in week 2 of the July season with the Metal Militia team. It seems to be working good for them out here on the SmashDown circuit. They got a lot of work to do to bring that truck back by next week. But moving right along inside of round 2, it's the return of Ryan Davis from the Backyard Beast race team in the Junkyard Dog, ready now to take on Chris Baluk in the BKT machine with an all-new mainframe up underneath that truck. He's had it working good for him here tonight. Looked great out here earlier tonight inside of qualifying. He is ready now to throw down against the JYD over there on the outside lane. Who's going to be meeting up with Raminator in our semifinals? Both trucks are staged. Here's the green light down the straightaway. Junkyard Dog got the whole shot. Here comes Baluk and BKT on the inside lane, and he'll sweep away a victory right here tonight over the Junkyard Dog. BKT moving on in the semifinal competition. Next up here tonight is the return of Matt Dempsey in the Raging Steel Chevrolet. Looks strong out here tonight in round 1. He's got a tall order because Colt Cobra, y'all better fear the Fang. Gene Patterson coming to the line in the Ford BDS Supercharged Brass Eagle Snakebite over there on the outside lane. Those Firestone tires were hooking up good for him earlier tonight. What's he got for the new kid in Matt Dempsey's Raging Steel Chevrolet on the inside lane? Both drivers ready to go. Ford and Chevrolet shoot out there side by side down the straightaway. Raging Steel with a slight lead, and he'll hold on to it all the way across the finish line. The Chevrolet and the bow tie camp put the Ford Oval Brigade on the trailer early here tonight. Raging Steel with a major upset. As we go back and look at your photo finish, it was by about half a truck. The Raging Steel Chevrolet will move on into semifinals, and the Snakebite has been defanged here tonight in round 2. Next up to close out round 2 action, new kid on the block, Bennett Cartwright returning inside of the Clydesdale Chevrolet, ready to take on your reigning and defending SmashDown champion Austin Spence and the Boss Gator over there, trying to hang on to that championship flag as the night progresses. He's in round 2. He's trying to go to semis. We'll see what the new kid's got in the Chevrolet and Clydesdale for him on the inside lane. Drivers are staged. Green light goes down now. Off the line they go. The Gator with a lead on him. Here comes Clydesdale trying to come back on him. Not going to be enough. Bennett Cartwright was trying to come back on him, but Boss Gator had too much in the tank. He will take that truck on in the semifinal competition. And what an awesome round 2 that was, ladies and gentlemen. But right now, this is how the semifinals is going to be shaken down. The Dodge and Raminator from the Crush This Race team going to go one-on-one with Chris Baluk and BKT. Other side of the bracket, new kid on the block, Matt Dempsey and Raging Steel takes on the champion in Boss Gator. And we're so close here, ladies and gentlemen. Are we going to crown a new champion here tonight, or is Boss Gator going to remain on top? Chris Baluk coming to the line in that revamped BKT machine. Dan Agash taking over the driving duties of Raminator, the Dodge camp out of Champaign, Illinois. He's driving for the Crush This Race team over here on the inside lane. We'll see what he's got for the veteran over there, Chris Baluk and BKT. Who's going to go to the finals? Both drivers stage. Here's the green light now, and down the straightaway they go. They're side by side, up and over no man's land. I shoot out to the finish line. What a matchup it is here tonight. Chris Baluk and Dan Agash putting on a clinic. Who got the win? We are not sure, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go back up and take another look at our MTA photo finish. Your winner in semis is going to be Dan Agash and Raminator by a nose over BKT here tonight. So the Dodge camp will move on into the final round showdown. But who is he going to meet there? Is it going to be the guy driving for the Chevrolet camp, Matt Dempsey, Raging Steel, or is it going to be his own teammate for the Crush This Race team, your reigning and defending SmashDown champion, Austin Spence, trying to hang on to that championship flag as the night goes on? We talked about him earlier. Looked strong last week to close out the June season. He's looking better than ever here tonight. He's got a tall order because Raging Steel's been running strong. Staging the line, the green light drops down now. They're side by side all the way down through no man's land. And Boss Gator will get it in trouble now on the nose. What a ride for Austin Spence and Boss Gator. He almost looked like Lyle Hancock and Gravedigger from the Rosemont Horizon many years ago as he gets the truck shut down. Raging Steel, he had all kinds of problems here tonight. Lost it coming out of no man's land. As we go back and take another look, Boss Gator got the whole shot. Raging Steel was hanging right there with him down the straightaway. Watch your inside lane. Raging Steel's out of shape right here through no man's land. He spins out, but the problem is the outside lane. Boss Gator trying to get the truck shut down, puts it on the nose, slams the top of the truck into the wall. What a ride it is, but the crew's down there going over that truck, making sure the roll cage is A-OK. MTA safety officials are going to go down there and do an inspection while we get prepped and ready for the final round showdown. It's going to be an all Crush This shootout. Who's taking the championship flag here tonight? Here's the tail of the tape. As we look at the left-hand side of your screen, Raminator eliminated Quad Chaos Metal Militia and BKT to advance to the final round. Now the right-hand side of your screen, Boss Gator took out Maniac, then the Clydesdale, and then Raging Steel just now in semis. And again, it's an all-crush this racing shootout here in the final round showdown. And right now the challenger, 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐿 and the Dodge Hemi horsepowered Raminator coming to the line to take on his co-partner, Austin Spence and the Boss Gator. Again, both drivers representing the Crush This race team. They're teammates behind the scene, but you can rest assured they're bitter rivals right here in this final round showdown. The championship flag is on the line. Boss Gator, Raminator, one of them's going away with the championship. Stage, green light drops down on the line. They're side by side. We got a race here from through no man's land. What a matchup it is. You couldn't ask for a better final as both drivers were trying to take it to the limit. Here tonight in the final round showdown, we are still unsure who got the racing win in the finals. Was it Boss Gator or Raminator? Let me know what you think down in the comments, because right now we're looking at the replay as down the straightaway they go. Side by side, they're duking it out. Up and over the first jump. Both drivers settle it down with perfection. Shoot out to the finish line, and right there we'll freeze frame it. Looks like Cheech is ahead and Raminator go over one more frame, and the Raminator will dethrone the champion by a nose. Here tonight, what an incredible race. Austin Spence was giving it all, and Raminator took it away by inches. So ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your new SmashDown champion here tonight, 𝐷𝐸𝐻𝐿 and the Raminator. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible matchup we had here tonight in the final round showdown. We sure hope you came out and enjoyed the show with us. Thank you guys for always supporting the MTA YouTube channel. Be sure, if you haven't already, crush that subscribe button, and I'll catch you down the road.